Hello, hello. Here we have Eitan from Kima Network, and we have Kilian from Stable. So nice to see you here. And maybe both of you will make a short introduction about your background and actually what you are doing within the project.
Sure, I can start. Hi everyone, and thanks for being here today. I'm Eitan, co-founder and CEO of Kima. A bit about myself: started my career as a software engineer, so I come from a technical background. Did a variety of roles in enterprise software startups and large companies, and started looking into blockchain and this space in general 12 years ago. Started playing with Bitcoin and got intrigued by the technology and its potential. So among my early projects, I can count one which was a new type of Bitcoin wallet that I created with two colleagues. We created an open source project that became the first MPC-based wallet for Bitcoin. Was involved in multiple other projects, including arbitrage trading, and started working on Kima back in 2021 with the vision to solve fragmentation, interoperability challenges. But our stance and our approach is pretty unique in the space. We wanted to solve the settlement problem of settling transactions across any type of ecosystem. So we built a settlement protocol that is completely agnostic to the asset class and technological stacks, which puts us in a position today that Kima is the only settlement solution that can settle both fiat as well as crypto, and working with public chains, private chains, and even bank accounts directly. So we do on-chain settlement for both on-chain and off-chain asset classes. So that's at the very high level. Happy to be here and speak more about what we do.
Thank you, Eitan. We will talk more about Kima a bit later today, but that's great brief introduction. So Kilian?
Yes. So first of all, thanks a lot for inviting me, and nice to meet the both of you. And I'm really looking forward to this space. So I'm Kilian, the founder of Settle, and basically my background in crypto started back then in 2017, where I think lots of people joined, and nowadays it feels like being like one of the older people now in this space. So back then I've worked with a couple of projects and then moved towards more like tokenization, or nowadays it's called RWAs, in 2018 due to the bear market that basically erased utility tokens completely back then. And from there I worked with, as I said, like lots of financial institutions, more like banks, and was consulting them or working with them on implementing blockchain solutions into their existing tech stack, and also trying to make it work from a legal perspective, because if you are working with financial institutions, like the majority of what you're dealing with is basically legal and compliance instead of the tech, because it's quite easy to just mint a token and handle a token. And the more interesting part is when it comes to which rights are legally stick to that token and how can it be handled in a compliant way. So from there, I then got a job offer from a real estate tokenization startup, and I was responsible for reverse IPO and merger of equals. And I was representing like one of the two companies that did the merger and reverse IPO. And that was a nice task. And after that was done, I decided, okay, I got to move on and go back towards more like the tech side of the blockchain applications, because that was in 2021, and that was the time when actually DeFi was on the rise, and also NFTs were quite a big thing, and there was lots of activity around DeFi and NFTs. And I thought, okay, that's the right time to go back towards more project or tech-focused projects, and also more towards utility tokens again, because they were also back then during that time. And so I did. And actually, during that time, I started working with the first Solana-based project. And I thought, okay, Solana is a really, really nice chain. I really like it. And also fell in love with the idea of DeFi, and especially based on Uniswap's solution and the opportunity that it had, that you have like liquidity in the protocol that you can execute trades at any time. Because for the people that know Ether Delta back then from 2017, the liquidity and the execution and settlement of trades was like the biggest pain point, but that was solved by Uniswap. And I thought, okay, this is something that is really interesting, and I want to work with that. And so I decided I combined the new and great ecosystem Solana with DeFi, and that was the time when the idea of Stabble was born, basically.
Thank you, Kilian, for such an introduction. Kind of interesting to know about your background, because that's always what makes people here in crypto. And actually, my first question will be to you, and it's about the competition. And actually about the competition that I have in stable within other projects. And the main question maybe that every project is always asked, how does it stand out from other liquidity protocols on Solana? So why are you special?
Yeah. So, I mean, of course, it's not a secret. We're competing with Radium, Orca, Meteora, and all these big Solana DEXs. And actually, I mean, when it came to the idea of Stabble and the idea for our product with all these features, we thought, okay, we want to make trading on Solana or providing liquidity on Solana more capital efficient. So basically, capital efficient means that you need less liquidity for capturing a similar or a larger amount of volume from the ecosystem. And basically that is what our ultimate goal was. And we actually found ways how we can achieve that, but that's based on a set of features that all help us to get there. So the first idea was, okay, when it comes to stablecoin trading, we decided, okay, the liquidity pools that we have that are existing in the Solana ecosystem, they are okay, they work okay, but there is a lot of room for improvement. So we went ahead and had a look at the curve model that is still very famous on EVM chains. And we thought, okay, that model, can we apply that to Solana, and which modifications can we make in order to make it more suitable for that ecosystem? And so we did. We came up with a modified curve model that lets our users set a lot of parameters and give them a lot of flexibility when designing their pools, and also actually setting up their strategy. And that actually is really outperforming the stablecoin market. We are Solana's biggest DEX in terms of volume, not TVL, because capital efficiency is says, okay, volume is more important than TVL. So basically, we are Solana's biggest DEX when it comes to stablecoin trading or stable pair trading. That can also include, for example, Bitcoin, multiple Bitcoin assets in one pool. We're Solana's biggest public DEX when it comes to that. And we also have some features lined up. I mean, like concentrated liquidity, margin liquidity that lets you leverage your liquidity allocation. It's basically like a leverage trade, but you translate that to basically providing liquidity. So this is also a great feature that we are working on that will further increase the capital efficiency. And last but not least, we're also working on smart liquidity routing. Smart liquidity routing lets you, for example, deposit 1,000 USDC, and then you say, okay, I want to have exposure to USDS, USDT, PayPal USD, to all these assets and liquidity pools. And then the protocol will manage your liquidity across all these pools in order to always make sure that your liquidity is utilized in the most efficient way and farming the highest yield for you. So basically that takes away the pain from the users that they have to manually track their liquidity allocations across multiple protocols, across multiple pools. And instead they can just say, okay, this is my strategy. I want to have exposure to these pools or to these assets. Here's the deposit, and then the protocol takes care of the rest. So that sets us also apart. And in the end, so our ultimate vision is here to have like a whole ecosystem with different features, different products that users can utilize in order to find their best strategy and their best way to provide liquidity to different pools on Stable, but also in the future on the whole Solana ecosystem. So yeah, that is what Stable is about, and that is what also sets Stable apart.
Thank you, Kira. That sounds really great. And next question goes to Eitan. So Eitan, we already started talking about some challenges that people are facing while being connected both to crypto and to traditional finance. Can you please briefly explain how KIMA is solving all this problem and challenges trying to connect those two realms together?
Yes, sure. So, KIMA is, you should think of KIMA as this universal rail for money. Money needs to move. Money moves today. Every one of us is moving money when we pay, when we buy things, or when we send money to our friends. So money keeps moving, and today it moves in rails. So if I want to send money from my bank account within my country, it uses one type of rail, local rail. If I want to send it to someone in another country, it has to switch between multiple rails, the local rail and then FX, and then going maybe through Swift, and vice versa on the other country. So the move between rails has always been the weakest link. This is where there is delays. This is where we see fees. There might be some even risk, and this is where intermediaries come into play. So this is how the financial system has been structured for maybe even centuries. Whenever there was a need to move money, there came the intermediaries. And even with computers, obviously things improved, speed improved, but you would expect that by now things will be instantaneous and 24/7 and with very low fees, because sending bits is light speed, but sending money can take up to 5 days, and it's very, very expensive. So Rails is a pain in the financial system, and there is no universal rail. So there's no one rail that can settle transactions across various ecosystems. The real opportunity came when blockchain was introduced. But so far, nobody really used the blockchain to move money in order to remove the need for intermediaries. So the settlement part is still a pain. It's still long, expensive, and requires intermediaries. There's no solution to move fiat or from a bank to a non-custodial wallet, from fiat to stablecoins. This is all something that was never solved until KIMA came along. So we took upon ourselves this challenge to do what no one did before us, and that is to build a blockchain that will function as a universal rail to send money between ecosystems that cannot really communicate with each other, and remove the need for intermediaries, which creates these fantastic things that we know from DeFi, that is on-chain settlement, 24/7, instant, and very cheap without intermediaries. So that's what KIMA does. KIMA is a financial infrastructure, vertically integrated, connected to those multiple ecosystems. So all this complexity that was never handled so far without intermediaries is handled under the hood of KIMA, and all those applications, DeFi applications, games, real world applications, banks, any type of application, Web 2 and Web 3, that needs to move money can have a single API to just move money, and money will be moved across all these ecosystems that don't communicate with each other. And that's really the potential. That's really the vision that we have in mind. And this is what we're actually building.
Thank you, Eitan. Thank you, Kilian, for such great introductions of our projects. And now we are coming closer to why we're here. It's technical integration when Stabble integrated KIMA as a solution. And now let's discuss it a little bit closer. So, Kilian, next question goes to you. What were the biggest technical and actually maybe a strategic challenge that you faced while integrating KIMA's infrastructure into Stable? And how easy was it?
So yeah, basically, it was pretty easy and pretty straightforward because, I mean, it's an easy to use tool that you guys have built. So our devs were quite easily able to integrate that into Stable. So maybe to give you a little bit of background, what does that mean? How is KIMA exactly integrated? So basically, the integration means that you can go to our website and or open our dApp, and from there you can basically bridge all assets from multiple different chains to our chain Solana to actually start using our dApp with on the native chain where our dApp is built on. And you can also purchase cryptocurrencies using fiat or your credit card. So basically, that is what the integration is about, and it's like a pop-up that you can open when you are in the swap field of our dApp, and that is quite easy to use. And of course, it was also very easy for us to basically integrate, and we had no challenges experienced during that whole integration. So there have been, let's say, more complex integrations with other teams where we struggle a little bit more, honestly.
That's pretty great, Eitan. I think that's the best compliment we should perceive from our partner projects.
Absolutely.
Okay, next question goes to Eitan. And it will be about security. So how does KIMA's architecture ensure secure and reliable cross-chain transfers without relying on bridges or custodians, and how safe it is to use KIMA?
Yeah, so this is really a deep topic, and this is where we started, basically. We started building KIMA because of some of the security challenges and shortcomings that we've seen in other solutions, namely bridges. So KIMA is not a bridge. KIMA is a technology that enables various things, including bridging. And we saw bridges that use the synthetic tokens, wrapping, minting, various practices. I don't want to use too much technical jargon here, but if you look at the history of hacks in this space, you will see that bridges, they play this very unpleasant role of providing some of the biggest hacks in this industry and in the financial space as a whole. And even today, we still see bridges and smart contracts get hacked. And when we started building KIMA, we wanted to avoid or be as secure as possible, because there's no 100% security. And when we looked at the what are the weakest links, what are the attack vectors that hackers tend to attack, and we wanted to address those. And there are two things that typically get hacked even today in DeFi in general, and specifically with bridges. And that is they take advantage of some code problems. Could be bugs, could be bad practices of coding, could be things that were not tested properly. And the second thing is taking advantage of private keys for the smart contracts that eventually move money and store money. So we thought that if today's practice is to just audit smart contracts, we took a different approach that nobody else took. And this is, we eventually filed a patent for it. So we built an architecture that doesn't use smart contracts and doesn't use private key to move and hold funds. So instead of smart contracts, we have a blockchain. And instead of private keys, we have a consensus of validators. So there's no single point of failure. There's no code that is accessible that can be exploited by hackers. And this makes us not just secure, this makes us immune, completely immune to smart contract hacks and private key hacks. And that is the unique approach. The 90+%, 95+% of hacks that take place around these two areas, it's not about auditing, they're just impossible with KIMA. Again, there's no 100% security, but the moment you identify and remove the common areas that get attacked, then this is a significant addition to the security posture of every solution. So this is one thing that we did. The other thing is the fact that unlike most approaches that they just trigger smart contracts and many of them do not handle the liquidity itself. So they just move messages. They send a message to ecosystem A and then sends a message to ecosystem B. In our case, it's a different way of operation. Instead of just sending messages, we take care of the entire transaction. We settle the entire transaction. We take care of atomicity. That means that the transaction is complete or reverted. And we take care of finality. That means that it's final on both ends. And this is it's a bit technical, but a fundamental difference from the messaging protocols that are being used mostly by bridges and by the other solutions in the space. And that puts us in this unique position to be a true settlement layer instead of just sending out messages between ecosystems.
Thank you, Eitan. I think that being settlement layer is the best description that can describe KIMA right now. Hello? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you properly.
Oh, okay. Because it seems like there was some glitch. Eitan, are you with us?
Yeah, what is the Twitter's or X space without any technical issues, right?
Exactly. At least we're here and we are speaking and we can hear each other. Eitan is DMing me that he cannot hear me. So let me ask him to rejoin. Yeah, let's wait. Eitan, can you please remove mute because you're on mute now? Yes, yeah, ask him to rejoin. Yeah, Twitter ads are very glitchy. Hey, Eitan. Are you with us? Can you hear us?
And he's not a speaker so far. There he is.
He is. Still like he is.
Hello. Yes. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes. Perfectly. Welcome back. Yes, we were joking about Twitter glitches. Like, it's a common thing here.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's all good. Thank you, Eitan. So, Kilian, next question is for you, and it's more about practical flow that the user experiencing using Stabble. So, can you please walk us through the user experience of cross-chain stablecoin deposit? For example, let's say sending USDC from Ethereum to Solana via stable Kima.
Yeah, sure, of course. It's pretty easy, as I mentioned earlier, so it's a pretty straightforward integration. So basically what you have to do, of course, you need to get your assets from, or USDC from Ethereum to Solana. That basically means you visit our app or visit the link directly, app.stabble.org. And then you go to the swap section, because we first have to swap your assets, right? And then you can actually click on a button, and that button is below the actual swap button, and that is called don't have Solana assets, and then buy with Kima, and or can also be called swap with Kima. And so basically that means you open that, and then there's a pop-up window that appears on your screen, and there you can select multiple source networks, multiple assets that are swappable, and then you can select the target network, which is in this case, of course, Solana, and you can put in your target address. So that works pretty simple, and you can just select the settings. You can select as source network, you select Ethereum, USDC, then you select as target network Solana and USDC, and put in your target address, which is ideally the address that you want to use to provide or deposit your liquidity at Stable in our liquidity pools. So basically, you put in that address and select the amount, and this is where actually things are becoming very interesting. So for example, if you are putting in $1,000 that you are going to swap from Ethereum to Solana using Stable or Kima, the fee is only 14 cents. So this is extremely cheap and like really easily doable, because you don't have to pay, and it's a struggle of paying like large fees and so on that we also all know from the old blockchain ecosystem on various chains. So basically you do that, and then you execute everything, and you will get your USDC on Solana in your wallet. And that wallet can then be connected to our DEP. And from there, you can basically go to the next step, which is called pools. And then you can deposit your USDC in any pool you want. So yeah, that is the easy use of the integration of Kima while using Stable.
Thank you, Kilian. Sounds pretty easy. We would advise people who are here with us to go to Kima Medium and to read the article about the integration, to see some screenshots of how everything can be done, and actually to try Stable themselves if you have such an option. So thank you, Kilian. Next question goes to Eitan. So Eitan, Kima is described as compliance ready. So how are KYC and regulatory requirements handled in fully decentralized and non-custodial setup? Can you please elaborate more about that?
Yeah, sure. So Kima is this rail that I described earlier that everyone can use. But in order to use it, you need to meet certain standards. Otherwise, if you don't meet these standards, its transactions might get blocked. And this is a unique thing about Kima, because it has compliance checks built into the protocol. So think of it like a highway, and there are toll booths, and you get stopped if you don't pass certain standards. Now, these standards are pretty straightforward. It's not that we're censoring anything. The only way to get blocked is you're trying to use an address that was identified as an address that is was used for hacks or some illegal activities. So if a hacker just hacked a protocol and is trying to use Kima to move funds as a settlement layer to settle it and get into another ecosystem, or even to get out to the banking system, that will be blocked, because that address is already marked by several other service providers that it is part of an nefarious activity. So this is built into KIMA because at the end of the day, and this is a debate that I used to have many years ago when people did not like any of such things, but there's no other way. If we want to connect the banking system with DeFi, there must be compliance with the rules. If we just want to isolate ourselves in some kind of an isolated ecosystem, can you still hear me?
Yes, we are with you.
Okay. Sorry. So if we want to isolate ourselves, then it's not what Kima is trying to do. We're trying to interconnect those ecosystems. So these checks of transactions, that's what's being called KYT, Know Your Transaction, is something that is embedded. Now, compliance has additional layers, additional things that Kima does not necessarily handle directly. That is, for instance, KYC, the Know Your Customer practice. If you're doing anything with fiat, regardless of the type of application, if this application wants to remain compliant, that must be done. KYC must be done because banks would eventually want to know the source of funds. If you want to meet your money in the real world, every bank will ask for the source of funds, and this is something that has to be done. But Kima does not maintain records of private information. We're a blockchain, we're a stateless blockchain, and we don't have private information. So we cannot do the KYC because KYC by definition involves private information. So the providers, Kima uses service providers that give us access to the payment, the card rails and the bank accounts. They are the ones who are obligated by law to do the KYC. And they're the ones that will eventually do that before triggering the Kima transaction. So when an application invokes a Kima transaction and the application has a part in the banking system, not DeFi, but cards or bank accounts, then the application will trigger a KYC process. And only once this completes, the Kima transaction will kick in and will settle the transactions. So, again, there are multiple layers because there are different ecosystems. In the DeFi space, we will do the KYT, just make sure that transactions are coming and going to valid sources and destinations. But in the fiat space, the KYC part is integrated by the service providers.
Thank you, Eitan. Just adding to your reply, I'd say that KY theme is the price that we have to pay to integrate crypto into real world finance system. All those KYC, KYB, KYT is just our price we're paying.
Absolutely. Yes, that's accurate.
Yeah, thanks. Next question goes to both of you, actually. So, what will be next for this partnership? Do we have any plans to expand into additional asset classes, ecosystem, or DeFi products? So, actually, what's next? So, any plans? Maybe something for our communities is planned?
Yeah, maybe let me start. So, first of all, I mean, we have been also looking something else when it comes to this partnership. So basically, you can earn Kima airdrop points when interacting with Stabble. So there's something very interesting for the users that want to earn some points. So there are 4 ways how we can do that. Basically, it is you have to visit the Stable website. Then you can follow Stable on X or on Discord. That will grant you 100 points each. And if you are a Stable holder and hold more than 2,000 Stable, you will get 100 points per day in addition. So that is something that you can check out already as of today. And yeah, when it comes to the further, what's up for this partnership in the future, I think I will take the part of the DeFi products. I think Eitan can tell us more about the additional asset classes or different assets and other ecosystems that will be integrated. But when it comes to DeFi products, so what we are building is like a whole ecosystem which lets users ideally, depending on the strategy and the risk appetite, manage their liquidity across Solana, mainly on Stable as of today, but in the future also in other DeFi apps on Stable or on Solana. So basically that is what Stable is about, and we are further expanding our products and our features in the future. So we have lots to come that basically will be always combined with the integration of KIMA. So that means users can easily come from different networks, come from basically also Fiat, and will have the opportunity to not just interact with everything that Stable has to offer, but also with some other DeFi apps on Stable that or on Solana that we as Stable are working with, and where we also will grant access to further and better manage liquidity across the whole Solana ecosystem. So that's my take on this question.
Thank you.
Yeah, I completely agree. I would just echo that and just add that what KIMA does is it allows the easy flow of liquidity from anywhere into Stable and into the Solana ecosystem. So think of users that are outside of the Solana ecosystem, whether they're coming from the Ethereum ecosystem with its layer 2s or even completely unrelated systems like Tron and others. So that becomes an easy way to onboard users without sending them through the hoops of bridging their assets so they can participate. So a single click settlement where payment or transfer of funds coming from other chains. And I to me the nicest, most streamlined thing is the fact that they can also use crowds. So they want to use Stable, they can start with their US dollars or euros with their MasterCard or Visa, and they're in, and they can benefit from the Stable ecosystem without going through exchanges and apps and bridges. It's just as seamless as paying on Amazon with a card, and you get something on the other end in your doorstep. In this case, you just get the assets within the Solana ecosystem in a very streamlined user experience.
Thank you, Eitan. Thank you, Kilian. Eitan, the next question is for you. Basically, if there are any founders of the projects listening to us, business owners, or any other person connected to payments, can you please let them know why should Web3 projects and actually all the other projects getting paid in crypto integrate KIMA? So what are the key benefits and how simple the integration process from a developer's standpoint for them?
Yeah, so it all boils down to increasing revenue potential, increasing the install base and the user base, and improving user experience. So these are the things that are enabled by integrating this seamless way to settle transactions and using the a universal payment rail. So just as I just described for Stable, if we are looking to increase the user base, and that's the mission of this space for so many years. The next billion users, right? This is the cliche that everyone is talking about. But the next billion users, it is a naive approach to think that okay, everyone will hold crypto wallets day one. It will take time until they get the wallets, until they understand what is the wallet and what needs to be done. I think the more realistic approach is to bring in crypto to them rather than get them into crypto. And bring crypto to them means that we will change the user experience. We'll make the payment as painless as possible. They can use their tap card approach and pay with Google Pay for a project that is a DeFi project. So we abstract the complexity of a wallet. I don't know how many of you try to explain what is a wallet, what is a signature to your mother or grandmother or uncle. It's tough, and you know what? They will, even if they understand the benefits, they will. Many of them will never try it. But they shop at the grocery store every day and pay with their Apple Pay and their Google Pay. They tap the phone and they move on. That cannot be more seamless. And this is the approach. This is the experience that we need to bring to them. So we need to change crypto settlements and crypto money transfers and make it work with their bank accounts. So their experience is seamless. So they use the crypto experience. So this is part of our vision. And this is my message to application developers. Try to make the onboarding, the payment part as seamless as possible and make it as familiar as possible and make it work with what people have and don't ask them to move and get assets to use your service.
Exactly. I just remember when I came to crypto, there was some kind of slogan to bank the unbanked. So now we are slowly shifting to integrate crypto into banking system, just changing the narrative a little bit. So trying to make everything as easy as possible. Thank you, guys. So we are coming closer to the end of our AMA, and actually the first question is always about the future. So what are the most exciting features or milestones on your respective roadmaps in the next, let's say, 6-12 months that the community should watch for? So the question goes to both of you.
Cool. Yeah, let me maybe start. So yeah, basically, let's repeat where we stand as of today. So we became one of the leading Solana stablecoin trading venues when it comes to the public DEXs on Solana. And so our next goal will be to become as strong as we are in weighted assets trading. So basically, weighted assets means USDC to Solana, or USDC to Jupiter, to Radium, to any other coin that is not correlated to the US dollar, for example. So we want to become strong in that. And our strategy to get there is by implementing constrained liquidity, because this is the most capital efficient way to basically execute trades from within this type of assets. And, but that's not enough. I mean, we have lots of DEXs that already have constrained liquidity. So there has to be added a little bit more to that. And it has to come with a unique touch in order to make it more attractive compared to what we see on the market as of today. And what we are working on is, basically the concentrated liquidity will be added by margin liquidity, which lets you leverage your position. So basically, you will have the opportunity to open a position, but you will also be able to leverage that position. So basically, when you, think of a leverage trade, but translate that to providing liquidity. So that lets you increase your position size in the liquidity pool by up to 5x. So that means you can deposit 1000 USDC, but you're providing liquidity worth 5000 USDC, for example. And that is a quite unique feature, which is relatively new to the whole ecosystem. And we're building that and we are deploying that by it will be end of Q3, somewhere there. And this will be really a game changer when it comes to capital efficiency on the individual user or level of the user. So that's one thing. And then the second thing on our roadmap where I'm really, really bullish is the smart liquidity routing feature, which lets you deposit 1000 USDC, for example, and then you have exposure to multiple stablecoin pools that, for example, include USDT, USDS, and PayPal USD. So that feature is also a true game changer because it takes away the pain from liquidity providers to manually observe and then rebalance and reallocate your liquidity across stable or other or multiple DEXs on Solana. So that feature will make the life of the liquidity provider way more easy and also help them to be providing liquidity in a way more capital efficient way than they are used to it as of today. So yeah, these are the two most exciting features that we have lined up in our roadmap, which I'm really looking forward to and which will really make a difference in the Solana ecosystem compared to what we know as of today. So yeah, thank you.
Eitan, are you with us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'd like to maybe finalize this by saying that we see ourselves as the enablers, the connectors of the space. So this is if I may, to talk about what's coming and where we're heading with what we're doing. We are building this ecosystem of applications, and we invite the community to be part of it. Community of users, community of builders and developers, and this is the way we see our expansion. And anyone that wants to and needs to connect with the traditional finance and as well as the cross-chain world. This is something that can be done in a seamless manner, and we would be happy to work with the community as a whole. We are working on additional initiatives, like we initiated the Open Stablecoin Alliance, which builds an alliance of stablecoin issuers as well. We were all about building a strong community, an ecosystem that will create an alternative financial settlements, because this is what the market needs. Technology has evolved, and now money needs to be able to move across all those ecosystems. So this is what we're trying to do, and we cannot do it alone. And this is why we want to invite the community to be part of it, and also invite everyone to follow us on social and reach out and be part of what we're building.
Thank you, Eitan. Thank you, Kilian, for participation. I hope that it was interesting and insightful for our community to be here with us, to know something new for them, and to get deeper into the crypto sphere. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us. It was a nice session. And thanks to everyone who joined and listened today.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.